Okay.
And what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the live show. And tonight I am joined by Ella Grant. What's going on,
Hello.
Miss Ella? so
Nothing
how?
going on. I'm just casually here drinking on a Tuesday.
Well, I mean, it's summer, right?
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah. I forgot. Canada only has summer for like a few days, right?
that was ladylike. Yeah, no, summer here is like 3.5 months, 4 months out of the year.
Oh, well, I mean, it's the same as ours. I just like making fun because you guys are up there in the frozen tundra.
Oh, it's brutal. Oh my god, it's horrible.
Yeah. It can't be that bad. There's a lot of people who live there, right?
I get sunburns from the sun reflecting off the snow.
Yeah, that's got to be when you're light skinned,
Oh,
extremely light skinned.
oh yeah, no. There's light skin, and then there's me.
Yeah, I could see your wall behind you through you.
Yeah, this is a white wall, you guys.
So what's been going on? What have you been up to after VidCon?
Well, I've been in Calgary for a minute. Sorry, I'm just pulling up the Twitter here.
No,
It's
you're good.
AGLuck or AGLuck or
AGLuck.
AGLuck.
Yeah, you don't know how often I get a Gluck. I need to put a dash in there or something.
Yeah, no, it's got to be like AG dash luck or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I don't know. Nah.
I might just like call you egg or something like that because AGLuck's kind of a mouthful.
Well, you know what? To the 7 people that are currently in here, and it'll grow a little bit. No one knows this, but I'm gonna go ahead and share it with you guys. My first name's Anthony, so I haven't ever said my first name, so that's pretty big, and it's a lot easier. I'm getting tired of people screwing it up.
I just don't want to dox you or something.
No, you're good. You knew my name, but I appreciate you going by my pseudonym, so we'll go with Anthony.
Word. It's well, nothing too much. I was in Calgary for a bit. Probably destroyed my liver in the process. Don't go to Calgary if you have liver problems, because it will not emerge unscathed. I was in Red Deer for a week. That was fun. And then now I'm back here in Edmonton, where life is great and I feel fantastic.
There you go. You gonna start working on stuff again, producing now that you're back home?
Oh, I hope so. But the thing is, like, I'm going right back out on Saturday. I'm going back to Calgary.
What are you headed out that way for?
It's my cousin. My cousin's post-wedding festivities are over this weekend.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'm heading down with my dad and my brother because it's my cousin on my dad's side.
Oh, that's cool. And, celebrate some, monogamy.
Yes. It's yeah, so that's going to be fun. But once I get back, I'm going to get back to it.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, like, you still owe us the remainder of, and it's something that I saw and kind of drew me into your channel was the Canadian snacks versus the.
It's coming. It's coming. Okay. Here's the reason that hasn't gone up yet. Number one, okay, I'm one of those people whose computer is always almost out of space. And that video exporting is like 2.5 gigabytes.
Yeah. And if you have a slow upload speed or anything like that, you're kind of going to take forever.
Exactly. So I need to go through and delete a whole bunch of shit because I don't even think I have 2 gigabytes that are free on my computer. So I'm like, because it can't go from Final Cut. It's a whole big thing. But that is coming.
Yeah. So you have to actually upload and render the video and pull it into the actual computer before you can upload. So that's why it's holding you off.
Yeah. It is coming though.
Good, because you kind of left it on a note, and I'm just like, what do you hate? What do you hate about American snacks so much?
I like. Okay, here's the thing. Snacks do not a nation make. I love America. I'm so patriotic to Canada, right?
Yeah, with your leaf flag in the background.
Kill me. But it's like See, the difference between Canada and America is that our FDA actually gives a shit about us. Whereas like I could go to America, start up a fast food company, and just put paint thinner and everything, and the Food and Drug Administration down there would be like, if people are eating it, it must be food, so it's okay. Especially your cheeseburger, that's fine. Like,
I think with the conscious move and everything lately, people have kind of shifted away. That even McDonald's has shifted to like real meat finally.
Yeah, no. Remember, we used to see comics from the States about like what goes into an American hot dog, and it would be like a cartoon, and there would be like a rubber boot, a tire, you know, a dog. Like,
can you say boot again for everyone?
Boot.
You said boot.
A boot, you know, like, well, that's like, I've been working on my Canadian accent since I was like, basically since I was like 13, but really since I started on YouTube, because like, I just don't like how it sounds on camera, you know? It's like, oh, sorry, you know, and then it came back in California with a vengeance, and I'm like, no, I put my vocal cords through conversion therapy for this. This is not the time.
Yeah, right. To start going back to, you know, traditional vernacular.
Yeah, so sorry about that.
No, I don't care. I honestly, Canadian accents and the way words get pronunciated is freaking hilarious to me.
Sorry about burning down your house. Like, my dad's from Ontario. Like, in Western Canada, you sound a lot more American, but like in the East, you know, Toronto, Ottawa, where my dad's from, that's where the sorry pronunciation comes from. That is a very Eastern Canadian thing. But here in the West, we kind of talk more like we're from Trailer Park Boys, where it's like, oh yeah, so I went down to the liquor store to buy a 2-6er of Molson Canadian, eh? Like, you know, like, and my brother talks like that, and I sound like a tranny valley girl from California. Like, hello, my name's Stacy, and I'm from Glendale. But it's like, sometimes I'll be talking with my brother on a live stream, and I'll just break character for a minute, and we'll start arguing in Canadian.
Yeah, and that's one of the funniest things is when you hear those, like, that twang from, I guess, I didn't know it was from Midwest or the west of Canada. Mm-hmm. I always thought it was just a traditional thing across the board, you know, like American accents. We have Southern
associated with like lower class or rural Canadians.
So it's like Southern twang here.
Yeah, but like, would you find someone born and bred with Southern twang if they were born and raised in like I don't know, Fargo?
No, they would have more like Canadian like styled words. Like they say soda and pop all weird. So
it's like that's the other thing is like I've always said soda, but in Canada it's like the Midwest. You know, the term is pop. Yeah. So dad is like, why do you say soda? And why am I doing my Valley Girl voice for my dad? He's like, oh, why do you say soda? Hey, and I'm just, it sounds better. It's got a nicer ring to it. It's like soda. It's not, you know, like.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I like the way soda sounds, and you even have Americans who call it pop, and it's just like it throws me off because they're like, oh, I'm gonna go get some pop. Like if you're playing a game with someone or you're online with someone, and it's just like, oh, I'm gonna get some pop. I'm like, you mean soda?
Yeah, or like, and there's places in the South I've heard that just call everything Coke.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna get a Coke.
What kind of Coke do you want? We've got Sprite, we've got Fanta, like.
Right. I don't know, man. Those people. It's just funny to watch them. You know, and their accents and different things and the way people pronounce words.
This is America.
Right.
Yeah.
So what started you off on YouTube? Because I always like to ask that question because I mean, we all have that in common. That's why we're here. We're all creators. We all, I don't know, have some sort of drive for this, even though they kind of shit on us a lot from corporate.
Yeah. It's well, what started me off on YouTube, obviously I've touched down on it in a couple of videos, but there's been a lot of political changes with me and just in my life in general. And I felt the need to talk about that because you know, Blair sort of got the ball rolling for conservative trans people in America. And that paved the way for people like me, people like London. There's another up-and-coming trans YouTuber named Abby Parmley, who's also more right-wing.
Yeah.
But what about Canada? Like, hashtag representation matters, but like, so that sort of was what gave me like the stamp of approval to do it. But what actually got me doing it, I've been making little videos with my friends and shit since I was in like grade 4.
Oh, really? That long?
And yeah, and I was watching I started off making stop motion. Coraline got me really into stop motion videos. And I was watching my first one a few days ago, and I'm like, oh my God, I did this 9 years ago.
Yeah, because how old are you now? 19, 20?
I just turned 18.
And hold on. Is Canada 18 years old to drink up there?
In Alberta, it's 18.
Oh, okay, weird.
So in Alberta, Manitoba, and Quebec, it's 18, but in everywhere else, basically, it's 19.
Oh, gotcha. But it's just so weird, you know, like in the States, it's 100% 21. And it's just weird when, you know, someone who's younger than you or younger than the age of what your country's age of drinking is like, I'm enjoying a beer.
Well, it's like, and you know the way they went about changing the drinking age in the States, right? It's like, it's the shadiest thing where they were like, oh, we're not going to officially change the drinking age because that goes against the Constitution. But like, if you don't have a drinking age that's exactly 21, we're going to withhold a whole bunch of your highway funding.
Oh, really? Like,
That's the government to the States. Like,
I've never looked into that. That's weird as shit.
It's like, it's so backhanded too, because up until that point, it was like Canada, you know, the age varied from 18 to 20.
Yeah, which I mean makes sense.
Come on, Donald, get it together.
If you can go into the military, get married, all these other things, they should be allowed to have wine or, I don't know, sparkling fucking wine at their wedding, you know?
And well, California, they just changed the smoking age to 21, which is great. It's because like, but apparently like so many veterans there who, you know, join the military at like 16, just pick up smoking right there and then. And they're like, what the hell, state government? We're just gonna like, no. And then the state government was like, oh, just show your veterans card. You'll get it. Like, we'll make an exception for you. And I'm just like,
yeah, California just changed to 21 for cigarettes as well. And it doesn't make sense in a lot of regards because what happens to the people who are 18 to 21 and picked up smoking in that time frame and still aren't 21? Like,
or even before that point too, because it was like, I picked up smoking when I was like 14.
Yeah, exactly. I started smoking at like 23. So I've got, oh man, I really want to quit, but you know, I like me a cigarette.
It's like, I didn't touch a cigarette for 2 years. And then as soon as I touched down in LA, I'm like, wow, this smog isn't destroying my lungs fast enough. I need a cigarette now. So it was Californication, as the song goes. But
hey, you jumped on you joined us, those people that everyone hates in California, because shit, Burbank won't even let you smoke on the street. You have to smoke on your property or in your car. Yeah, seriously. Like there's a lot of towns that are starting to enforce those rules in California, and it oh man, I could see like, oh, you have to be away from dineries and food parlors and stuff,
schools and stuff like that.
Yeah, not doing it in places where there's children around and being considerate to other people. Like if I'm having a smoke and someone is gonna walk in my direction, I'll step far enough away where my smoke doesn't just like slam them in the face.
Excuse me. Or you can, but it's like, that's such a subtle way to be shady to someone if they're pissing you off, is just blowing smoke at them. It's like,
true. Yeah, or the people who walk by and their kids just start coughing, and you're like, dude, I'm 25 feet away from you, and you're hacking like I've given you cancer.
Oh, it's like someone in the comments is talking, or someone in the chat's talking about legalizing weed, and Canada just legalized it on a federal level. The provinces are still like scrambling to figure out how they're gonna set up their infrastructure before October 15th.
Yeah, and see, California legalized it, and then Trump just basically said he reinforced what Obama said, um, which is the states are going to have the choice, and that Sessions needs to cut his shit when it comes to marijuana, which is good because honestly, dude, my mindset on marijuana is. It's not as bad as cigarettes, and it has a lot of like potential for medical uses, you know?
And really, yeah, exactly. And like, really, it's just weed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I used to do a lot of that when I was like 15. It's like, what's the point of it being illegal? Because, you know, kids are going to get their hands on it anyway. So why wouldn't it be from a safe source like the government? Like, I got hooked on coke when I was 14 because I got weed that was laced with it without knowing.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
So you smoked cocaine. How was it? That's weird. Like, I don't even know how that would feel in your lungs.
Just had like way too much Red Bull.
Really?
It's a lot. It feels like you just had way too much Red Bull. But you feel happy and glad, and then you want to die for like the next 4 days. It's like the cocaine was real, but it's so damn overpriced too. But once again, but that was before fentanyl took off.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I don't know, man. Like, and that's not me saying man is just in my vernacular. No disrespect.
No, I say man and dudes or like
yeah.
All the shit. I say
I just want to know it's not a disrespect thing or anything like that because some people would twist it.
Everybody always feels like the urge to like, but I don't know if this is like a thing for most girls, if they can attest to this. But for me, it's just like. People will be like, oh, guys, or like, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say guys. That's just part of it, you know, or like, come on, man. Oh, sorry, girl. You know, like, I'm just like, really? It's fine.
Or like dudes. I've said it with a group of friends, whether it's male, female, and dudes is just comes out of my mouth. And it's like, there's ladies here. I'm like, motherfucker, like, seriously? Like, I could call it, what up, bitches? You know?
Yeah, no, it's like, really?
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you're like, dude, that's what you're gonna bitch about. Like, really?
It's like, and I can appreciate the sentiment, like trying to be more considerate can, I guess, help you in a lot of ways, but really?
Yeah, and speaking of that situation, with this whole the U.S. Movie industry thing that's going on with Scarlett Johansson playing a straight cis woman playing a trans woman. Your thoughts? Like, do you find that offensive, or you're just like?
Oh, of course not. And a trans man is a woman who turned into a man, and trans woman is a woman who was born a man. So it's like, but for the purposes of this movie, Scarlett would be playing the before and the after.
Yeah.
You know, transition. There is a trans in transition, which she would have to play both parts of. And I can't imagine being able to find a trans man who's, you know, been on testosterone, had a deeper voice, who would be able to convincingly play the before.
Yeah, and can, like, I mean,
it would feel horrible. Like, I can imagine making a movie about my life, for example. I would not be able to bring myself to play the before because, you know, that would require cutting my hair, you know, like all that stuff. But finding someone who's somewhat removed from that situation who could be able to deliver a more convincing performance as a result might be the best way to go. And,
yeah,
you know, Hilary Swank did it.
Yeah, and so did Jared Leto.
Won an Oscar.
Yeah, and so did Jared Leto, and he won an Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club.
People bitched at him, though.
Oh, yeah, they did massively.
But Hilary Swank, people were like, oh, this is bringing so much awareness to our community and shit, you know?
Yeah, and so what I was wondering, because with this, her no longer playing the role, and because she dropped out, which in my opinion, that's kind of stupid, because what a lot of those who are angry about it don't seem to understand is, what if they can't find an actor who has the draw, and what happens when that movie doesn't get made? They're going to bitch because it wasn't made.
Exactly. They're going to be like, oh, that could have been valuable, big screen representation for the trans community and shit. And I mean, okay, I guess they kind of have a point saying like trans actors can barely find luck playing cis characters, let alone trans characters, because, you know, cis people are playing them all. But I'm like, Hollywood is a hard industry to break into.
Yeah.
There are a lot of cis women who can't get into Hollywood because they don't look as womanly as they can. I know, for example, someone like me or someone like Blair probably could make it in Hollywood as an actress, not playing trans parts, so playing just like girls, you know?
Yeah.
But a lot of trans women especially aren't so lucky. And similarly for trans men, it's the same problem. So it's not a matter of Hollywood hating trans people. It's a matter of who can convincingly play the part the best.
Exactly. And that's where, like, I don't think the understanding is there that they weren't casting it to do anything negative to the trans community. They were just trying to find someone who could play the role and someone who could draw
the audience to get, and really like, oh, we need these big names in this on the marquee or something to bring as many audiences in as possible and to get the message out to a larger volume of people. How is that a bad thing? Again, like, because these are the same people who are crying about, oh, we don't get enough representation, not enough movies feature trans, not even trans actors, but trans characters.
Yeah, and what happens if now this, and that's the big thing, is this movie may never get made.
Yeah.
And then what's the group who ran over and had their whole anger situation about it? What are they going to say then? You know, what's their thoughts going to be? Oh, they just did it because they don't want to represent us or, you know, bring a light to that community. And no, you ran it into the ground because you basically got the actress that would have drawn name and money kicked off of it, and they couldn't find anyone to play the role.
Exactly. And real talk, though, no shade to Scarlett Johansson or the director of this movie, but it's about a trans gangster. If good representation is what you're concerned about, y'all should be cheering that they're not promoting a trans criminal. I personally would have gone to see it. But if I was like a really salty leftist or something, I would have been like, oh, this is like giving trans people a bad name. It doesn't matter who's playing the character. This movie, it's like the pro-refugee people who are like, oh, let's just not promote any of the bad stories. Let's just gloss over this guy who saved a kid. It could have been exactly like that, but
yeah, exactly.
The tables have turned.
Yeah, I don't know. And someone, one of my mods, Tennessee Marine, brings it up. He's like, shit, 2 straight dudes played gay cowboys, and then it was a good movie, and yep. So, I mean, I don't know how the gay community took that or anything like that, but if it was well represented and the movie did well like it did and it won awards, is that a problem? You know, do the community have issue with that because it was 2 straight guys playing the roles, but they won awards for it, you know?
Yeah, it's I'm sorry, my Wi-Fi is like bitching at me right now.
Oh no, you're good. I just continue to talk through it when if it has a little drop, so you're good.
Oh yeah, I caught the end bit of it, so I was okay. Because it cut off at like, oh, 2 straight guys, and then it ended on playing 2 gay dudes, like.
Yeah, you know, like Brokeback Mountain, like like that was a good movie.
I've never seen it personally, but
oh really?
As someone who's like been invested in making movies for a long time, when you're behind the camera, you aren't in it for the history of the actor. You hire the actor because their face tells the story.
Yeah.
For example, and that's the difference between theater and film, is theater actors, they don't need to be the right height. They don't need to have the exact face. They just need to bring that stage presence. And they need to sort of exude the energy that character should on a stage to a live audience. But when you're shooting someone on film, they need to have that exact look. They need to have that exact costume. They need to say exactly what they need to say, blink exactly when you tell them to. And Scarlett Johansson might have been just what that director had in mind. So I never interfere with the director's vision.
No, and I could see the facial structure similarities between the the mobster and Scarlett Johansson too.
Exactly.
And so it's one of those things where if you want if there's not, I mean, and especially it's a small community here in the States, I think like 0.5%, 0.7 or something. If you don't find those people who are willing or able to play the role, there's only 0.7 of the total populace of the US. So how many of them are acting, you know?
How many of them will coincidentally resemble the person they're supposed to?
Have the skill set.
Exactly. And like, really, for example, if you're trying to make a movie about a trans woman, and you have to hire a trans woman, what if you end up hiring her and she's already had like breast implants done and like had her voice box done or something? How are you going to get her to play the part? Like, it's just, there's so many more layers when you're dealing with trans people, because it's always like, will you be comfortable playing a male version of yourself? Which I imagine that not a lot of trans people would. I mean, I would, provided they could just get me like a wig or something, but like.
Yeah, and I guess you could, but it also becomes the fact of if you've fully transitioned. Like, what's the actress from Orange is the New Black? The black girl?
Fox, I've met her.
Yeah, so Laverne Cox, full transition, and they had to tape a lot of shit down for her to play her male original character, you know?
Fun fact about Laverne Cox in Orange is the New Black, she happens to have a twin brother.
Oh, really?
Who they had play her the before.
Oh, I did not know that, and I love that show.
Obviously, most trans people who move to Hollywood don't have twin siblings who can play them before.
Right? It's not like, hey, that'll be the casting call. Looking for a trans actor with a sibling who isn't trans to play, you know, the before or the after.
Exactly. Like, excuse me?
Right? I don't know. It just seems, and I wanted to bring that up because as where would you lay yourself? Like center right? Like, is that where you land?
I'm almost exactly center. X-axis, Y-axis. I'm like right in the middle.
Yeah, and so as a trans conservative, and you know, seeing what the social justice side of the world does and says on the behalf of someone in your shoes and speaking for you, what are your thoughts on that?
See, and that's the thing that the trans community does. They never speak on behalf of me specifically. They always speak on behalf of the community as a whole, which is bad enough. But if someone says, oh, Ella Grant says this, but she really means this, you know, like, that would piss me off a lot more than just saying trans people just want equal rights, you know, like.
Yeah. Well, they do that. I feel like they do that to Blair kinda and stuff when it comes to, yeah. You know, it just seems like, why do you try and speak for a full group of people when there's going to be people all over the spectrum and you can't account for them? And that goes for minorities and everything else. And white people, why are you speaking as if you're the representative of that community?
Well, and people who tend to speak for the trans community, that variation doesn't exist in the trans community. The overwhelming majority of trans people I've met have been very left-wing. Don't ask me why. There's probably ContraPoints would have a better explanation for you. But that diversity of opinion just is not there by and large. Obviously, there are a lot more trans conservatives than you might think, but the overwhelming majority of trans people I know, especially who are around my age, are very left-wing.
Yeah, I think there's a shift, and I don't know about the trans community, but I think of the normal political spectrum to more center because of how extreme things are getting. And that's just talking about, you know, everyday straight people, cis people, whatever. They are the ones who are in your age group, and they're starting to shift more center. It's interesting to watch because you're seeing them be like tired of the politics and, you know, health, like the bullshit.
Oh, Jeff's in the chat. Hi. I'm spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I hate that trans. Well, okay. A lot of people do seem to think that being trans is a political position.
No.
And that's something that comes with the right and people on the left who are like, or people on the right will be like, oh, all these left-wing trans activists, you know, like back when Jordan Peterson sort of first made it big, you know, it was because of the trans debate. So people were like, oh, those trans left-wingers, you know, and then people on the left would be like, oh, it's trans people versus right-wing Nazis, you know. But trans is not a political side.
No, not at all. And that's the thing. And that's like saying that, you know, black people is a political side. You land yourself with people like Kanye's movement lately, and, you know, crazy Candace Owens, and, you know, Hotep Jesus, and these other people who break the traditional mold, and people freak the fuck out because they're like, you're not representing people right. Why did they have to represent? Why can't they just be an individual?
Exactly. LGBT equals mental disorder. Have you been reading this guy's chats?
Yeah, who was it?
I am.
Yeah, you've been asked, buddy. Sorry, brother. Bye. You're getting timed out.
Did he just delete all his?
No,
I didn't read the whole of the last message, but I know it had the word erection in it.
That's fine. And I saw one of my mods told him to calm down, and he didn't. So you get a timeout. You enjoy the stream and not scream at the chat, guys. I just ask that you be respectful to my guests. It's the most important thing here. You can talk shit about me. You could talk shit about anything you want, but be respectful to the guests. They don't have to be here. They're here because they're kind and good people and want to come on and have a conversation for you guys with me.
They can go off in the chat. Honestly, it's just kind of funny.
Yeah, and
I know that sounds really weird and like holier than thou, like you know, like. But I have an account on Instagram of elegant.memes, you know, where I just post a lot of what I do post is people being salty in my comment section.
Yeah, and you know that's funny that you bring that up, because that video that Barb did of people talking shit to her was really good, and then it got like people trying to flag it down. It's like, come on, man. Like, you can be salty all you want, have fun with it, talk shit, but, you know, it's like, come on.
Oh, Brian Wilson says, Ella, can I still play the circus tent in your movie? Okay, I don't know if you saw these tweets, but I thought up a movie plot while I was washing dishes this afternoon. I did see
the original tweet, yes.
And people are like, oh, can I play the circus tent? I've always watched old movies. Can I be in your movie, Ella? And I'm like, I just thought of a plot. I haven't even like put a pen to a page. It's like, budget? Who?
Right.
I haven't heard that.
I actually, me and I don't know if he's still in here. He goes by Sicko in the chat. You actually met him at VidCon. He was my buddy that was there with me.
I think I saw him earlier.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I remember you. But yeah, so me and him are writing a story, and not for a movie, but for some other medium, and it's gonna be so fun to do. It's one of those things where I can't say anything about it yet, and I really want to say something about it, you know?
Well, keep me posted, because I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, I think it should be fun.
It's that's the thing that drew me to YouTube the most, is like, because I've been doing video production and all that mumbo jumbo for so much of my life. You know, I was making all these videos and I had nowhere to post them.
And so did you just kind of start posting your stuff there, or did someone else inspire you, or were you?
Well, the obvious inspirations, people like Blair, people like Shoot, you know, but I wanted to, so how do I say it? A lot of the videos I'd been making in the months leading up to starting YouTube. I'd been making for school, and then it was the middle of summer vacation. I'm like, well, I really want to start making videos, but I don't have an excuse to anymore. Like, what am I going to do? Am I just going to make these videos and like not hand them in for marks, not post them anywhere? Like, what am I going to do? So YouTube was like the best outlet for that.
Yeah. And how long have you been on now?
Almost, well, a little over a year. Like, I think my first video dropped July 2nd of last year.
Oh, so you had some pretty rapid growth then. You moved pretty fast then.
Yeah, well, shit didn't really like start to get a little over the, like, it didn't escalate quickly until I want to say like November.
Gotcha.
Because, well, I took a break for most of the summer, you know, waited for school to pick up again, and then, you know, the ball kind of got rolling once I got back into the swing of things in the fall.
Yeah, see, that's awesome because I'm working. I like my live streams a lot, and I like interacting with people. And my creative content's good, but I'm working it out. And I was watching your stuff, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, why are so many people so much better at like editing and filming shit than me? I'm like, God damn it! I know. I know. I'm getting better with it. I actually have been using my webcam because it's pretty high def, as well as like my cell phone to shoot different angles and videos and just try different things.
Yeah.
It's just trying to find my niche, you know?
Exactly. And it's like I said, it took me a long time to sort of find what I wanted to do with my channel. And even now I'm thinking about the videos that I have up and coming. Obviously there's the drunk AMA that I filmed a little while ago. There's the food video. I want to do a video about like political views impacting friendships and shit, because I have a horror story about my best friend leaving me because of politics, and then us like, you know, reuniting a year later. So that's a video that I want to do eventually. I just need to talk to her about it. And then I actually want, you know how I did a video about me making cookies?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a bit of a sequel to that. So for my 18th birthday, my grandma gave me like a big box of cookie stuff, you know, with cookie cutters, a rolling pin that my grandpa made from scratch, baking sheets, wire rack, you know, the full meal deal. Now my mom's side of the family, every year we rent out a community hall in Southern Alberta in a small town, and we gather and we all make shortbread cookies once a year.
As just a family?
Yeah, it's just a family thing. But the recipe is my great grandmother's recipe from Scotland.
That's awesome.
It's been passed down through the generations. And my grandma gave me a little laminated info sheet with the recipe on the back. And I'm not going to show the recipe because it's top secret. But here's the description of my grandma. Our grandma Mac was a woman of strong character and resilience who delighted in life's simple pleasures and dwelled with its adversities. She will always be lovingly remembered for teaching us the art of making her Scottish traditional shortbread cookies, and with your help, this tradition will continue for many years to come. She was insistent that the most important ingredients were a loving heart and a good sense of humor, and maybe a good stiff shot of whiskey for the cook. So I did a video about like how to make my great grandmother's Scottish shortbread. And I'm going to try to make it
that way
a little bit more documentary-ish, you know, get some old pictures, get some stories from my grandparents, stuff like that. So that's coming.
That's awesome. But you're going to keep the recipe as hush-hush as possible, right?
Well, no, I mean, until I make the video, but like.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like one of those family secret recipes that's not to be shared.
No, it won't be. I just don't want to like spill any beans until then.
Yeah, and then everyone's cooking them before you, and they're just like, well.
So easy to make. Like, they're so easy to make, and they are extremely addictive.
That's awesome. And it's cool that they've been in your guys' family that long, and it's been a tradition carried on. So it's almost like a mini family reunion kind of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I don't think we had one last year or the year before, just because, like, my grandparents, everybody's been so busy because now all the kids are in high school. Yeah. So it's like a whole big thing, but we're going to try to do it this year because, how do I say it? We usually hold it in the fall when my grandpa, his birthday is in November, and so is my grandma's. So we hold it around both of their birthdays. But my grandpa is actually retiring this year, and he's been an accountant since like 1968.
How old is he then at this
He
point?
was born in 1949.
So he was still working, and he's in his 70s.
No, he would be 68.
Okay, so even still, he's beyond like traditional like retirement age for at least the U.S., and he's still chugging along.
Well, and it pays off very well. Like they run their own accounting firm, and they have for some time, and it's paid off very well for them. So
Jesus, that's awesome, because you know it's cool to when your grandparents get to the age where they can actually like settle down and enjoy like not having to do anything.
Yeah, they are, because of all the work they put in the last decade or two, they are going to be able to live very comfortably till the end of time.
That's awesome. And anyone in my audience who says Starbucks sucks, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. I'm drinking Starbucks right now, and one of my my buddies who has been on a stream with me before is Starbucks sucks. I think Ella's giving you a death stare.
No, I'm just reading the chat. I was going to say something, but Candian, not American boomer. Don't bar this guy from the chat. I want to see what else he spits out.
Yeah,
here we go. American boomers need to be forced to pay off all the debt they forced on us innocent and put Eastfu millennials.
I think he's trying to say peaceful millennials.
Yeah. Right. And but like,
one of my mods, one of my mods hit him.
I think I've seen him creeping around my chats before.
Yeah, well, what Tennessee Marine was saying earlier is he's like he's all over the place. He's in streams all over the place, and he's kind of just toxic. If you actually banned him, you'd lose nothing. And I'm like, someone to laugh at.
Oh, totally. No, it's there was I don't know. That's like the only times I've ever banned people from my chats. Because usually I just let the audience take care of going off on haters for me. But the only time I banned someone from my chat was the live stream I was doing with my dad.
What happened? What happened?
I just usual hater, and I was like, my dad is looking like right over my shoulder, so like I don't want him to think like my audience hates me.
Yeah, or anything. And if you don't mind me asking, how'd your parents take your transition?
Skeptical at first, but right on board the whole damn time.
That's awesome.
They've been ready for gay for a long time. They've been ready for me being gay. So like they were prepared for that. So I guess I kind of had a leg up. There's like
so it wasn't like some hidden secret from them.
Exactly. And no one was
Gotcha.
So
yeah, well that's good though. Like because you have parents who will be like, I'll accept you for whoever you are, no matter what. And then it's like, well, you hear of kids who they come out to their parents and it's just like shock and they freak out. And it's like, hold on. I thought you said you'd accept me for whoever I was.
Exactly. A lot of people that in the moment, wait, what? How did I have no idea? A lot of people take that for hate. Really, these people have spent your entire life bringing you up. What did you expect?
Right.
I mean, you didn't know it until recently, so how could they?
No, exactly. But I mean, if it's like disapproval, because I've had friends who came out to their parents and it was like the dad was super disapproving, even though like he's like, I'll support you no matter what. Like you're my son. And then it's like down the road, the person came out to his dad and his dad was just like almost disavowed. It took a lot of time to rebuild that relationship,
That's a very common thing. It usually is the dad.
Yeah.
That has the most issue with it.
I mean, quite honestly, I think our generation, millennials and Y or Z, whatever the hell we're on now, because I'm gonna be fucking 34 this year. Jesus Christ.
I feel old.
I'm old. I am
feel old.
Huh?
I feel old. It's like I was at camp this year and we were going around in a, like, you know, you do the circle thing and it's like, oh, my name's Jake and I was born in 2005.
Yeah, and when you're around a lot of young people, it makes you feel older than you actually are. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You're, in my eyes, you're what, 15, 16 years younger than me, and it's like you're not old.
Yeah, well, and it's like a lot of people have thought I was like 28 since I was 13.
Yeah, I thought you were older than that. That's what I thought I heard when we were all hanging out at VidCon that you were, you know, in your 20s. But I think it was someone made a joke. It might have been Wizard of Cause. I think you called him out for something he said on a stream. Like
that sounds like something Drunkella might have done.
Oh, okay. It was a joke, and you're like, yeah,
I don't recall.
Did
I call someone out? I feel kind of bad.
No, not called him out in a bad way. You referenced something that he said, which he said, it's
yeah. It's not my fault that a 17-year-old man looks like a 24-year-old woman.
Yeah. And you gave him a hard time. You're like, I'm that 17-year-old man who looks like a 24-year-old woman.
I'm an 18-year-old man who looks like a
35-year-old woman.
Exactly. It's like,
I'm fucking with you. You said you feel old. I
do feel, now I feel old.
I gotta play into it.
My surgeon said the Botox was working. He lied. Like,
yeah, right.
Oh my God. It's like, I don't know. I'm just praying to God. I don't know.
Yeah. I honestly, if I can feel this way all the way through my 30s into my 40s, I'll be stoked. I mean, I've hurt myself, knees and stuff back in high school and stuff, but I could put up with that. If I could stay in this mindset, if this is what 30 is supposed to feel like, it's fucking fine with me.
Like I don't know if this is just like an estrogen thing, but I'm already dreading turning 30.
It just already flipped in your head. You're like, God damn it, I'm going to be 30.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. That's as a guy, like I kind of dreaded it, but I was like, you know what? 30's the new 20 or 40's the new 20 nowadays. So shit, why not?
It's like, I don't know.
Raymond said, I'm 46. You are all babies. Yeah, Azu, you're right around my age, so you're not that old.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone check your logic. Do you know who Check Your Logic is? I think he came over from you.
Yeah, he was there. He was at VidCon.
So then you probably did meet me there. I was hanging out with all the group of people there, which was really cool, right?
He only really came to my big meetup on the Friday.
Okay, so then maybe not.
Yeah, I don't. We might have seen you floating around, but I don't.
No, I got fucked by work, so I wasn't even at VidCon at all on Friday.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, so no, that
I've seen you on the Friday night, but I didn't see you at VidCon on the Friday.
Yeah, I wasn't there at all because work. I requested the time off, and they didn't give me it off, and so I just said, you know what, you guys are assholes for that. But I came back up Saturday night to Bunty's thing at the bar and stuff. Did you end up coming to that?
No, I kind of had a mental breakdown at my hotel, and I didn't go anywhere. What
happened?
Oh, it's a long story.
Oh.
But yeah, no, there was like collapsing onto the floor, and it was like cameras should have been rolling because that was a Hollywood moment. And it was fitting because I was in downtown Los Angeles.
There you go.
But that was just like such a Hollywood moment. But I ended up having a little thing on my last night in LA and that would have been on the Tuesday night. And Barbara came, Bunty came, Chris came. But yeah, no, Bunty and his whole posse, really. Vincent Sear was there.
Really?
Not Vox Providence, but who was the guy with the Polaroid?
Oh, shit.
He was there too.
Isn't that Vox Providence? That's the photographer.
Well, no, Vox Providence had the DSLR.
Yeah, I think he was doing the what's
Vox
it called?
Polaroid too, because I remember.
Yeah.
But there's another guy who's what's his name? Casey Estrada was there.
Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, it was fun, and you know what was cool was I've interacted with a lot of those people online and stuff, and it was cool to meet them in person and just hang out and chat. Like, there's people who
that's what it was. VidCon parties are just people talking.
Yeah. And it was, I mean, we would have drinks. Like, we were at that Irish bar and we were all having drinks and stuff. And freaking Jax Films was there hanging out with us and stuff like that. And it's just like, he's a normal ass dude, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was cool to interact with people who I've, interacted with online and stuff. And I went into it because I've done stuff with them in different arenas. Like, I've had Bunty do like stuff for my videos for me and help me out there. And so it was more like coworker. Like, I looked at him as, a homie or a friend versus, oh my God, Bunty King,
Exactly. And I feel like only talking to YouTubers online for so long, you do begin to view them as coworkers. And then when you meet them in person for the first time, you're like, wow, friendo. Yes, hi, hello, Okay. Real talk though. Is anybody different in person than you thought they would be, and how so?
Not well, you know what?
Nick is shorter than I thought he would be. So is Jeff. Jeff is way shorter than I thought he would be.
Holiday?
Yeah.
You know who was shorter than I thought he would be? It was Chris Raygun.
Oh, well, he's like 5'4", isn't he?
Probably like 5'5", 5'6", but I was shocked.
Short. I'd heard talk that he was short, and I was like, wow, you really are a short little man. She's like 5'3", and I knew she was short, but I always thought she was like 5 even. Like, when someone says, oh, I'm short, I always think you mean like really short. So she was taller than I thought she would be. She
was she wearing pumps though, or heels?
No, I was, and she was still taller than I thought. She's shorter than me by a lot. She's like Barbara size.
Yeah. That was someone who was a lot cooler than I thought she was going to be, because my introduction to Barbara was, I thought she was being shitting on someone who I followed, and I was like, this chick's weird. And I actually watched her stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I thought she was, one of those people who kind of like a cult of Dusty.
Oh my God.
He's just an old angry man.
We don't talk about him or his Twitter.
Shit, he's on Bunty. He's having a conversation with Bunty tonight, and I was like, damn it, I'd like to watch that. I'll just rewatch it because this is way more important to me. But I'd like to see what the true boomer has to say.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
if you want.
No, we're good. I'm having fun here. I just that guy and that shit he posted about June or Shu was just like. Or no, it was Lacey. He was talking shit about Lacey Green.
It was all of them. Real talk, though.
Yeah, well, he was talking shit about Lacey Green because she's dating Chris, who happens to be a conservative. Your boyfriend pushed Trump agenda, blah blah blah. It's like, so don't bitch. It's like, dude, really? You can't date someone with a different political view at all?
Wouldn't recommend it, but you can do it.
Yeah, or you don't let that affect the relationship, or attempt not to. But then he gets mad because she has her own political views and dates a center right conservative. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Not even like that center right. That's the thing, is he's not. I even have reservations about calling him a right winger, just because really.
Yeah, or centrist. I don't know what you would call Chris. He's just non-PC. That's what I would say.
Exactly. And I know left-wing people who are non-PC.
Yeah, and that tends to be where I land.
My dad being one of them, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I have family members who are, you know, true, like center, like they're in the left. They're not the center left, they're in the left. But they're not, they'll talk shit about everything from, exactly, you know, whatever. I think we've gotten so kicked in the face with how far it's gotten to the left and to the far right that it's like we assume everyone's in the center who's not one of those extremists, you know?
Yeah, no, it's like politics is dumb.
No, and that's what I've shifted. I mean, we're kind of bringing it up and talking about it just because it is, but I'm shifting my channel slightly away from it because I want to have fun on my channel. And
it's training. It's so hard to have fun talking about, oh, these people are getting mad about Trump again. You know, like, what else is new? Where's the gin? That'll make this shit interesting again. You know, like, it drains you so much as a creator.
Yeah, and how many times can I dunk on feminism? I don't agree with a lot of it, but I'm not going to continuously just make videos about it over and fucking over.
Well, and that's part of the reason I feel like people like Hunter Avalon and Mally Yiannopoulos have totally lost their luster for me.
Yeah.
The climate's changed so much, and they haven't.
No, you have to move with the times, but if you're not being true to yourself and you're just after that money grab, it's not going to work out.
Money grab. There's no monetization anyway. What's the point?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry. I'm going to go cop some water. I'll be right back.
Do your thing. So, as you're saying, you enjoy talking politics. It's all about how you do it. Yeah, I would agree. I think that if you talk it with an open mind and actually interact with people and not just force your opinion down people's throats, then it can be, you know, an enjoyable experience. I don't know. I just don't want to keep dunking and making videos. If there's something that stands out, like I made an Elon Musk video and that was fun for me, you know?
I'm sorry. I didn't catch any of that because I had to go to the kitchen.
Oh no, you're good. I was just jumping in and talking with the audience because one of my friends who found me off of, and this may shock, but I've been helping with Andy Worski's channel and rebranding. Yeah.
Oh, how's that going?
Good. He's pivoting. He's coming back to his traditional groundings, and he's getting away from all the drama bullshit. And that's the reason why he wanted to bring me on, is because I'm more level-headed. You know, I'm not involved in any of the like stupid blood sports drama or anything like that. You know,
he's a bit compulsive.
He is, and I think that me there, and we've had a lot of conversations, and he's really wanting to get back to what he was, because he feels like a lot of people. One, he's lost a lot of his true fan base, and that's where he wants to be, is in his true fan base, because he's tired of the drama and the bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things where me being normal headed and level headed, I can help out there, and we got a few projects working, and so we're gonna start doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday shows. Obviously I work on Tuesday, so it'll be a floating host with me and this other guy, Pop TV. We're both smaller creators who've stayed out of drama, so it's what Andy needs, and there's none of the BS, you know, of that he's brought on before. So
yeah, well, and it's like I'm glad he's beginning to realize the wrongs in his prior ways and all that mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, it's good, and I like that he's shifting. Like him and Chris are going to be doing like created content again and stuff like that.
With Chris Worski or Chris Reagan?
Chris Worski. So him and Chris Worski are going to start doing like actual created content
that's
again.
A plot twist right there. That's a plot twist if I've ever heard of one. I thought they were done.
Oh no, they're still friends. Chris got, from what Andy said on stream when we were talking and stuff, he's gotten Chris has gotten busy with work because he's doing, you know, core work stuff too. Like he has stuff that he does. He still does a lot of stuff for Andy behind the scenes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I cannot remember the last time I actually saw something to do with Andy Worski. I think it might have been either I Think I'm Real's channel or, God forbid, the Crazy Hair stream.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things where if you can really self-evaluate, no matter where you are, what you've done, if you can self-evaluate, you can turn it around. And I think he's had time to self-evaluate, and he's realized, you know, this isn't what I want to do, and I don't want to just pander to that group or those shitheads.
Yeah.
Which is cool, and I can be on board with that because I liked his old shit. Like I liked his stuff a lot. And we watched on Friday last week, we did a live stream and we were watching his movie that him and Chris made in 2011 and just commenting on it. Have you seen that movie? It's like a full-length movie.
I feel like I've seen parts of it.
Dark Fist. Yeah. Yeah, it's really fucking funny. And it's super campy, B-rated, like a B movie, you know?
Oh my God.
It was fun. And he's like, dude, I'm having fun doing this again. Like I enjoy talking with you and Pop, and it's not like you guys have some sort of agenda. And I'm like, you know, I'm a normal person. I'm right.
Yeah. I wish, honestly, someday my hopes and dreams of being a normal person will come to fruition. But
I think you're pretty fucking normal. I think you're pretty fucking normal. You're only as normal as you want to be, you know?
Yeah. I'm not that normal. I'm just good at acting.
Well, you're owning it, you know?
Awesome.
So, and how did you, besides YouTube, how did you and London get to know each other?
Well, that's kind of how it happened.
Just YouTube?
A lot of people promote their YouTube channels on Twitter, on Facebook, but me and London both very heavily promoted ours on Instagram around the same time as each other. And Politigram is a very niche market. So obviously it's a smaller community. So a lot of people are like, oh, Ella, there's this girl named London, so you should collab with London. And London actually at the time was a bigger channel than me. And she still, I don't know how she still has like a bigger Instagram than me, but she does. But that's how me and London, because we had a very common audience on Instagram. And that's actually how she first reached out to me. It was like, hey, she DM'd me on Instagram, like, hey, do you want to collab? And then we've mostly come to be like one of the, even if you search me up now, one of the first results is Ella Grant London.
Yeah.
Or if you search out Miss London, it'll be Miss London Ella Grant, you know?
Yeah, and that was cool to see that you guys do a lot of stuff together. And even though she's in California,
she's from Maryland, and we're
okay.
actually she's like 18 days older than me.
Oh, so you guys are super close.
Exactly. We're the same. We're both Geminis. Like, we're both Rangers. She just dyes her hair a lot. But like, so we've always had a lot of those base similarities. Our audiences are very similar. There is a lot of overlap. It's just like a lot of people who watch me are also subscribed to Blair and Shu, for example. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna wonder, you got a lot of overlap with if you got a lot of overlap with Blair.
It will mostly be on my end because, once again, her channel is so much bigger than mine.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of my subscribers are probably also subscribed to her, just not necessarily vice versa.
Yeah, she's a cool person. I've actually gotten to interact with Blair. Not at VidCon. She was there on the day I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But on Twitter and stuff. And she actually set me up with the graphic designer who did her stuff to like do the way my logo's written and stuff. And so I had that person do my stuff too. So
she should hit me up. I'm really good with that.
I actually am going to need some like intro stuff done very shortly. I need about a 5 to 7 second intro for my videos, because I have nothing. It usually just drops in right at there. So there's nothing on my video besides like me right away.
Well, I'm your gal. I'll do it pro bono. Something to put on a resume.
Oh, awesome. I wouldn't expect that, but I'd probably still PayPal you something. So I'm not. Yeah.
Well, I've designed all my banners. That's once again, that goes back to, I've done video and photo editing for so long. People like, when I was at camp earlier, film camp, some kid was like, oh my, like watching me edit this video. And he was like, oh my God, you're like a wizard. I'm like, how old are you? And he's like, I just turned 14. I'm like, ah! It's like, you know, it comes so naturally to me now. It doesn't feel like a chore at all.
Yeah. What are you using for editing?
A lot of my banners and stuff, and even like the 2D graphics that I'll have in my videos, I design in Photoshop, and then I run those through Final Cut Pro.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. See, my banners and my like thumbnails and stuff are pretty dang set. What I would need, and I actually Crack, he's one of Andy's mods. He does some great work too. So I wanted to come up with a couple of intros anyways, and something for like the live show, because I want to start using OBS. I like what you can do with OBS on live, you know?
I don't know what that is.
So OBS, you ever see those streamers who can play video with audio and everything else right on the screen to the audience?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's OBS. So it's a free open source. So it's through the brand Streamlabs. So they
I just use Google Hangouts. This is too fancy schmancy for me.
Yeah, and that's why I've always stuck with Google Hangouts, is because it's super easy. But I really want to use OBS because there's times where I want to do it just me and like maybe play a video and talk about it or whatever. But I can't do that right now through Hangouts because I don't know how. I don't even know if it's possible.
There is a share screen option.
Yeah, but the share screen option won't play your audio into the video.
You need to do a thing. What's it called? For example, on Mac, there's a thing called Soundflower. It just open a new tab, search it up now. Be like, how to output how do you say? How to output computer audio. I don't know, but on Mac, there's a program you can download called Soundflower, and that's what I use whenever I'm like, for example, if I'm Skyping my friend or something and I want to show her a video that I've made, I'll turn on my screen sharing and I'll set the output to Soundflower, and it won't use the mic. It'll export the audio through like the digital mic that is audio going through the sound card.
Oh, that's awesome, because that would make it easy. And from what I've heard from other streamers and stuff, OBS can be a little tough when you first get into it. But I mean,
yeah.
So
yeah, no, that shit's not simple.
Yeah, and so for me, it's like getting used to different things and really getting into the live streaming, because I love making and creating content because I love editing. I'm not great at it, but I'm getting better, and it's just fun, you know?
Exactly. Same. That's why I started my YouTube channel, was so I would have an excuse to edit videos.
Right. And for me, it's been, I've never really been talented creatively anywhere else. And so to share video and then share like how I edit and do different things, it's one of those things.
And then, you know, I'm actually shooting a video for this college day after tomorrow, and I'm getting paid $2,000 for that.
Dude, that's awesome.
But that's on my own. That's just word of mouth in a smaller market, you know? So that's what video editing is, and generally like video as a whole, you kind of need to create work for yourself. Yeah.
It's very freelance.
Exactly. And that's what YouTube is, you know, you're putting your face out there, you're putting your skills out there.
Yeah, and you're putting everything, that your beliefs or whatever else, and the fun thing, like, I really enjoy editing. I wish sometimes that I had someone who could edit for me once I get big enough, so I can pump out more content, because I really take a long time editing.
Let me tell you. Okay. How many subs are you at now?
Oh, I'm small. I'm like 390.
When I was your age. But here's the thing. The one thing that has never changed with my channel that has worked out quite well for me is quality over quantity.
Yeah.
So, you know, I started working on that shoe on head video in February.
Damn.
That video took, and it went live, like, I'm pretty sure middle of May. So it was like, you know, I had worked on that video for months and months, and my channel more than doubled.
Yeah.
And that was those months for editing. They were refilming, you know, making sure everything was absolutely perfect. And it pays off. So when people watch your channel, they're watching for your brand, they're watching for you, and you show through your editing. And that's part of the reason that's part of what draws people to my channel, is that my videos are so distinctly Ella Grant, because Ella Grant makes everything that you see. So it really depends what you want your channel to be. But that personal touch that comes with editing your own content, even if it takes longer, can be quite rewarding.
Yeah, and so that's the thing where I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my channel, since I'm kind of pivoting away from like the heavy commentary stuff. Mm-hmm. And so it's just learning what I'm going to shift to, you know.
I'm sorry, yeah.
You good? Beer burps?
No, I'm just yawning. It's 10 o'clock here.
Oh,
it's
your grandma.
Well, and I don't know. Oh my god, and it was so hot today. It's still like 30 degrees Celsius in here. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
I was just gonna search it because I'm like, I don't know.
30 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit, Siri?
86.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but whatever.
Yes. So it was probably like 95. So here, let me convert that for you.
That's 95. Like 39 degrees.
Yeah. We like 2 weekends ago it was 112.
Oh, that's brutal.
Like 44 for you guys.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, it was gross too, because not only was it that hot, but it was like 40% humidity. So it was just, you'll walk outside drenched with fucking sweat.
Oh, mother of God.
And everyone thinks California is like, you know, beach weather everywhere.
Well, that is beach weather if you're like suicidal.
Yeah, I'm not that far. I'm only 15 minutes from the beach. I'm just a little inland, and it was roasting out here.
Oh my God. It's like, does it cool down when you get to the beach?
Oh, yeah. If I went down to the beach, it would drop like 20 degrees. Yeah, it's that big of a shift. Maybe
we're going to go to the beach.
Yeah. Well, it was work. You know, I worked 9 to 7.
You're a young man.
Right. I was working 9 to 7. So I'd come home and get, you know, make dinner or whatever. And I'd come into my apartment. I live upstairs, which is another fucking shit part of it. And I'm just hit by a wall of heat, and I turn on my AC, and then I would not make dinner, and I'd go like Coffee Bean or Starbucks and hang out because they have really good AC. So my apartment could cool down and then come back to it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's just, So you were at, and I got to say, thank you for coming on one day after getting home from camp. So how long were you out at the what was it? Video camp? Is that what you said it was?
Film camp. That camp was 6 days. But before that I was in Calgary, just with friends for like 8 days. But they were back to back. Like, I didn't come back home between the two. I went from here to Calgary, and then from Calgary to Red Deer, and blah, 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 blah.
Damn. So since VidCon, how long have you been at home then?
I think I've spent a grand total of like 3 nights in my own bed. 2 nights, probably.
Jesus. And that was what?
I left for VidCon on June 20th.
Jesus. So about a month of being out of your own house, and you've been there 3 times in the whole month.
Yeah, and then I'm leaving again on Saturday. So,
yeah, but at least you have some downtime, sorta.
Totally.
So I don't know. It just seems like it's always weird when people are that busy, and it's hard for me because I'm like, what with my work schedule and stuff. I'm just like, I don't understand how people do that. It's like I'm working, you know.
No, we just drink our way through it. Pray to God it's over soon.
So what do you got coming up besides the continuation of telling us why you hate American snacks?
Well, there's obviously the cookie video. Like I said, I want to get back into politics, and I'm pretty sure the next political video I'm going to make, I edited this video a few months ago about Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a 1990s political attack ad.
Oh.
And it's so corny. It's like, Kanye's gone to the dark side and stuff like that. Kanye's gone to the dark side, the white side. Like, it was just so overdone. And there was like, it starts off super cheery, and then it's like, and it's just like goes all black and red, and it's just like this whole big thing. And it's so, well, not to like toot my own horn or anything, but it's not bad. So I feel like it would be a mighty shame if I didn't post it, even though Kanye has kind of become old news at this point. It would still be funny to post. So I'm gonna finish that up and post it, I think. Next, like, full political video like I said, I want to make a video about that friend who disowned me because of politics, and then the happy ending to that story transcended like a year. So I want to talk about that.
That's awesome. And I think that's cool when if you can get the friend to get involved or be willing to, you know, let you do it.
Well, and it's a video about her, so I'd at least need her permission, you know?
Yeah. I mean, unless you can find a way for it to be fair use.
Well, I still want her to remain my friend after the video goes live, so.
Just talking shit, like just shitting on her.
Well, I mean, I'm a teenage girl. What did you expect?
Yeah, but okay, so that's a good thought. So, do you hold a grudge as bad as cis women? Hopefully have you gotten to that point yet?
I can hold a grudge until like I finish any unfinished business.
Oh yeah.
So
that's you still got that tendency rollover from pre-Ella.
Yeah. That's a good rule of thumb to have either way, is to be like, oh, you piss me off and you piss me off good. So until you like apologize or some shit.
Yeah, or we come to some sort of resolution.
Exactly.
But then after the resolution, you're not going to just go behind her back and just keep talking shit.
Oh, totally. Exactly. And I can't stand having unfinished business or grudges that haven't been resolved.
Yeah. And I think that's a good thing, because that keeps you from running into those issues where you run into each other, or you guys hang out and you're at the same party or event, and it's like animosity and just weird.
This girl and I know each other through camp, but she lives in Calgary, so that's part of the thing, is like we hadn't talked since like January. I found out that she's going to this camp again.
Oh, awesome!
So I was in Calgary, and I was like, okay, girl, I don't want camp to be like awkward as shit this year. Do you want to go out for drinks and like resolve anything beforehand? And she was like, yeah, of course. I'm like, oh wow, that was shockingly positive. So we got all our shit over and done with before camp, and it was good. That's
good that like you found your way back to, you know, being friends with that person instead of it just festering.
Totally.
Yeah, some people tend to hold on to things too long. Like, I don't know. I'm not the kind of person and this kind of makes me dumb sometimes, not like stupid, but just a dumb choice. I would rather, instead of it becoming like hatred towards the person, I'd rather just own my part of it and apologize right away than to let it simmer.
Totally. Honestly, like, nail on the head with that one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's easy to get past things if you can own your own bullshit part of it.
Bingo.
So besides that, you got any plans for the rest of the week while hanging out at home, or are you just going to chill out until you have to go again?
Probably a bit of both. Like I said, I'm filming that video for that university, so that's going to be fun. And then I got to edit it. Yay.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a nice little payday, to be quite honest.
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, it's probably all going to go towards some boobs though. So like, buy myself some scotch or anything with that money.
No, you just get some cheap scotch, like some of that like $7 plastic bottle scotch.
Or like, well, okay. There's apparently some variety of booze called Grants. And I'm like,
what is it?
Grants. And I'm like, my last name is Grant. It's a sign.
There you go. And is it cheap or more expensive?
It's more expensive, but I kind of want to get a bottle, like,
and just have it in your background somewhere.
Exactly, just because of Grant.
Yeah, right.
That's the one thing I really want to dedicate some time to, is making like a consistent filming setup for me.
Yeah.
Because that's something I've never had on my channel.
Well, and that's what I'm doing. Like, if you notice my backdrop, this is I'm setting up a studio. I mean, it's bare right now and everything, but it's getting like where it's an actual place that I can record and everything. I just need to get some soundproofing for the wall right in front of me, because I bounce a little. Yeah,
well, and that's what happens in empty rooms, especially.
Yeah, I mean, I was even thinking about off screen, like hanging, just draping some like a what's it called, a bed sheet or like a comforter, so it'll grab some of the sound.
Maybe. Honestly, just experiment with that, see what works best.
Yeah, because it's not too bad, but if I get loud, if I talk really loud, or I'm trying to like, if I make a joke and I start laughing like I normally would, it'll bounce like all over this room.
Well, and you have carpet too, so that helps already. My entire house was built in the 1930s, so every single room here has hardwood or tile.
Oh, so you're gonna bounce off the floor and the walls.
And like the walls are all plaster, and like the ceilings are like, I don't know if you can see my ceiling, but like,
oh, geez.
So the echo in this house is like damn crazy.
It's not too bad right now, but I haven't noticed it in your videos. Do you do something to like fix the sound or anything?
Honestly, I just kind of pray for the best.
Really?
But do whatever I can in Final Cut and pray to God that you can tell what I'm saying.
So if it works, it works, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't. I've actually, like, before I got the filter for my my mic, and I started recording with this new like nice mic, I was popping my T's and stuff and my P's, and I was like, why in the fuck is it doing that? And I would have to go back and re-record everything because it just sounded god awful. You could hear the pop of my, and I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I got to get something. So for a while, I was just running like a sock over it. At least it was clean.
Whatever works. Real talk, though.
Right. Well, I know it's getting late there. Anything you want to push out and get these people who aren't like 4 people who aren't here for you?
It's fine. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna tap out. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to, go subscribe, check out Ella's Twitter, Ella Grant, and YouTube.
Ella Grant.
Yeah,
Ella Grant 0.
Definitely do it if you're here because you like me. If you're already subscribed to her, then subscribe to me and have some fun. Thank you again, guys, and I appreciate